How can we have unaffordable housing across the whole of the city, both in the rental sector and the residential ownership sector, when you've got stuff like this sat there empty? Talk to me, like, what's the last 5 years been like for you? This building has been sat there for absolutely ages, looking exactly like that, and I wish it was the only one in the city, but it is most definitely not. This is on West Coast Drive. Let's go and take a walk around. I am a little bit of a walk away from Narborough Road. I'm on the other side of Foss Road actually at the moment, but it's so interesting around here how housing has become so unaffordable for many people. I'm going to show you some sights, have a listen of some sounds. There's loads of smells down here. Let's see what there is. These huge terrace villas behind me are absolute beasts of property. Many of them have been split up into flats. Many of them have been left to rack and ruin. So what can be done to improve the housing in this part of the city? The problem is there's been so many people want to come and live here that it's very hard now to turn it back into something that people want to be in and where they want to live. That said, there are some absolutely stunning properties on this part of West Coast Drive as well. But as we get further down toward Narborough Road, you'll see in a few minutes, it's not quite as nice down there, but still massively expensive. This is one of the causes of the expense in this part of the city. West End Villas. Now, I know from experience that that is student accommodation, and there are a lot of that sort of thing around. There is actually a few more just on this street alone. There's one landlord that has got a few down here, and you'll recognise them from the type of signage that there were up there on West End Villas. I'll show you another one just in a second. This grand old building here is a former pub. I think it was called the Latimer from memory, built in 1888, still standing now, strong and proud, but it's now student accommodation. This part of Leicester is now unrecognisable from what it was even 15 to 20 years ago when I first started an estate agency in 2008. Yes, just trying to remember now, it's a long time ago. The round here was really popular with young professionals. Lots of young people that worked in the city of Leicester wanted to live around here. Great bars, great restaurants down Narborough Road, and it has just changed massively. Huge amounts of immigration into this area have really changed the way people live around here, changed the type of people that live here, changed the type of people that go to the little primary school that's just next to me here. This is Shaftesbury Primary. My wife went here, my grandma even went here, but I bet it's a lot different to when both those two were there. The super densely populated area around Narborough Road and Foss Road is perfect for people that want to move into the area. There are shops, restaurants, all sorts of different takeaways, supermarkets that offer everything you could wish for from right across the world. What we're going to do is we're going to start at one end of Narborough Road. We're going to have a bit of a walk down, see if we can chat to a few people on the way, see what their thoughts are about it. Hopefully we get the chance to do that, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments on what you think of this area now compared to maybe what it was like 15 to 20 years ago in my case, but can you remember even further back than that? What was it like then? Unfortunately, another common sight around this location is stuff like this that has just been left on the side of the road. No one cares at all. Now, seeing as I talk a lot about property, it would be very remiss of me not to discuss the property around here. Now, Cranmer Street, where I am now, is a good street. So on that side of Cranmer Street, they're backing on to the main Narborough Road. They are a little bit bigger. They're the only houses in this whole block up here that joins together Shaftesbury Road on one side and Hinckley Road on the other side that have got any houses with any sort of front garden on them. Some on Shaftesbury themselves have. But all of these other streets leading back here, so Ridley, Luther, Tyndale, Livingston, none of those have got any front gardens. However, this side of Cranmer Street, where I am at the moment, some of these are quite small and you have to cross over a bedroom to get to the bathroom in some cases because, yeah, they're really not that big. But Cranmer probably is one of the better streets down here price-wise. It's a little bit closer to the city centre, so that drive price a little bit more. Rental-wise, we're probably going to be talking between £900 and £1,000 a month for a two-bedroom terrace property. And if you're purchasing around here, if it's in good condition and you're buying it to live in, you're probably not going to get much change out of about £180,000. If they're rental, they may go for a little bit less. Before I start the walk down Narborough Road, two more buildings. I'm not going to call them derelict, but they're certainly unoccupied now. They were both banks. I think it was the Nationwide and the HSBC from memory. So this is it, the start of Narborough Road. So I'm at the city centre end at the moment. first thing we start off with is Bed City over there. That's been there for a heck of a long time. Very successful business by all accounts. They've got a nice big car park there for people to get to. And the first of the Turkish restaurants on my right. This is Antalya. I've eaten in there. Very nice place. Bit of a bonkers waiter from memory. So we've then got a kitchen showroom, and then we're coming into authentic African cuisine and bar, which is called Lino by the looks of it. I thought you put that on your floor, but apparently not. Apparently it is now a restaurant as well. Now, the last I heard, Narborough Road was the most diverse street in the whole country for different businesses. So there's more nationalities of business owner here on this street than any other street in the UK, and you'll see that as we head further down. We've already seen an African cuisine place, a Turkish cuisine, and I'm going to have a look, see what else we've got kicking about as well. There's a hell of a lot of these sorts of shops down Narborough Road that sell like everything. We've got the shisha place here, vaping, tobacco. We've got simplypleasure.com. Can't say I've ever frequented there, and probably never would, I wouldn't have thought. So I've just passed Enzo, which used to be Lebanese. We've got the Eagle Barbers over the road there. We've got Amin Butcher, which is a halal butcher's. And then we've got a supermarket just here, which I think is mainly Eastern European. Leicester Fresh Foods from all around the world. So we've got British flag, EU flag, Bulgarian, Iraqi, South African, Kenyan, Turkish, Romanian, and Maltese maybe by the looks of it. So yeah, a really good mix there. Slot machine place just on my right hand side here as well. And then over the road there we've got the Romanian mini market, a Lebanese kitchen, and another Barber's. It really is so cosmopolitan down here. It does feel like being in London. And you've got all these shops here, and then right over there you've got housing and student accommodation. So just down Saxon Street there you've got lots of terraced housing, and then you've got the student accommodation straight in front of you as well. They're relatively new, and they just bring stacks of people into this area. If I stop to describe every single shop and the different nationalities and the different type of shop, it would probably take me about 2 hours to get down this street. So I'm just focusing on the odd few, really. We've got a South Indian kitchen just here. They do Caribbean stuff as well. And then Leicester's greatest restaurant, Istanbul restaurant, is just here. Love this place to bits. Spend an absolute fortune here. So yeah, Istanbul restaurant there is just behind me. Istanbul deserves its own special shot. Does a fantastic mixed kebab for one. Absolute bargain. Takeaway or eat in. Great food. Really good atmosphere. Very old traditional tin drum bookshop over the road there. Loads of work going on the shop next door. And then just over the road is 9 Bar, which used to be incredibly popular, and it still is. I do still see a lot of people in there, but I just think it's a different type of person now. And then on my right we've got the Sikh temple and a community centre, which is where I had my COVID jabs, and we're back on West Coast Drive now, but just the bottom end of it, where there's a fair bit of mixed use housing and mixed use property. So yeah, the Jalaran Community Centre over there, that's where they did all the COVID jabs. Then we've got the Sikh temple just to my right, a very impressive building. And then as I come up West Coast Drive, I'll just show you some of these houses before we head back down Narborough Road and onto the other side, and I'll show you some of the properties down there and how close they are to getting to the hospital and the university and things like that. And that's what drives that economic success, I guess, really, that we're that close to the city centre and where a massive load of jobs are. So just here you've got some more luxury student accommodation, it says, on West Coast Drive, and then huge houses. I just wonder what these would have been like in the 1920s through to the 1960s. They certainly wouldn't have been lived in by the same people that live in there now. Not a chance. So I'm now on the city centre side of Narborough Road, and as you move away from Narborough Road, it gets quite a lot quieter quite quickly. These houses down here are quite impressive. Again, all Victorian era properties. This is Britain Street, and if you look behind me, you'll see some that have got concrete pillars in between the windows. That's quite rare for Leicester. These houses are very big, and these will be, again, a little bit more expensive than your traditional terrace properties that there are around the area. I don't think I've ever sold a house on Britain Street. They don't come up very often down here, again, because they are that bit bigger and they've been owned a long time. by the people that own them, either renting them out or living in them. And as I approach the end of Britain Street, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting, in that I'm just going to cross over this bridge now into Bede Park, and then I'm basically on the university. It is so close. You've got the old Western pub just here, which is still very popular and has done quite a lot with itself over the last few years, promoting a lot of music, a lot of theatre, a lot of comedy acts and things like that. Morrison's Daily is bang opposite. I'm sure that used to be a co-op or a Budgeons or something like that. So that's changed relatively recently. But literally where I'm stood now, you can be at university, hospital, Leicester City Football Club, Leicester Tigers, all very, very quickly. So as I cross over this bridge now, like I say, this takes me into Bede Park. Quite a nice park, really. And from here, I'll show you exactly what you can see, and it's a lot. There's so many places that you can be very quickly from here. So there's lots of people out enjoying the park today. One of the nicest days we've had this year so far. And straight in front of you, you've basically got the whole of De Montfort University. And you can't see it, but off to the right, which will be sort of up there around the corner, that's where you would get then to the Leicester Royal Infirmary. I'm going to take us as far as the River Soar, have a walk back along there, and just show you some other bits, and then we'll walk back through some of the social housing that was developed around this area probably about 30 years ago, I would guess. Got some people playing cricket on the park with a tennis ball. Some very suspect bowling actions going on. No balls all over the place. So we're now approaching the River Soar, and you can get from the top to the bottom of Leicester just by using the pathway on the River Soar, which is really, really handy. So I've just been walking through Bede Park, and I've bumped into two guys. Watch my bloody videos, don't they? So I've got Junior and Fredo here. How's it going, boys?
You alright?
Good, boys.
So we were just talking about like what the housing's like around here and what your lives are like, and you said you've been to Dubai and stuff like that. Talk to me, like what's the last 5 years been like for you?
Ooh, last 5 years, grinding my arse off. Took a quick break in Dubai, loved it, got inspired, came back to England, realised I got to grind more.
Just to grind all the time?
Grind all the time. We don't want that, mate. We want to live a nice 50-50 balance, mate, at least.
So, and how do you feel about like the properties, housing and cost? Like, because you don't live too far from here, do you? Like, you're in a little terraced house and things like that. Like, if I said to you 15 years ago, you could buy one of those for like 85 grand, how does that make you feel?
That sounds amazing, mate. It sounds like a dream come true nowadays with the prices that we've got in front of us, so...
Yeah. And Freddie, you're in construction, so are you like, what do you build? What sort of stuff do you deal with?
Like sorting out the doors and stuff, you know, core drilling, diamond drilling. But it was mainly like security kind of doors.
Oh, okay. And how's business at the minute then? Is it busy?
It's alright.
It's okay?
Yeah, not working right now though. I'm just taking a little break.
Why not, mate? Why not?
Yeah.
We only live once.
That's
we only
it,
live
mate.
once.
That's
So, so what's the plans then, guys, for the next for the rest of 2025? Are you getting gone? Are you staying here? What are you thinking?
Hopefully back to Dubai or Thailand. get a few payouts.
Mate, they've just had a massive earthquake in Thailand. You don't want to go there. Yeah.
Like last week,
I gotta hit the drawing board then, mate. And mate, gotta get somewhere, mate, that's just a bit more stable and a bit more economically sound, if that makes sense.
You know what, that's what I've been thinking about a lot, that the world around here has changed, the world across the UK has changed. Guys like these are the people that 20 years ago, the world was your oyster, you do what you want, but like as bills have got more expensive, housing's got more expensive, places like Leicester that we just talked about, they've got more densely populated usage, like, it's just tough, isn't it?
Yes. Crabs in a bucket, mate, literally.
Pulling each other back down. Pulling each other back down. So, boys, lovely to see you.
You too, bro.
Respect, bro. Yeah.
Catch up soon.
Keep
all
on
right.
the videos,
Have a good one. Cheers, boys. See you later. Two wicked guys. Do you know what I mean? They just want a good life. Junior said to me off camera, doesn't want to work too hard, doesn't want to like have to absolutely bust his balls to just make ends meet, just wants a nice life. Like, once he settles down with the family, gets himself into a nice house somewhere, does a decent job, comes home, has a nice time with his kids and his family and his missus, and goes on holiday a couple of times a year. Like, don't think that's too much to ask. But it is bloody hard out there at the minute with house prices as they are. They're not going to come back down anytime soon. I was with a guy yesterday, selling an ex-council house. Needs a bit of work doing to it. It's like £210,000 now. £210,000 for an ex-council house in Leicester. I wouldn't have thought you'd be like that for one that's really nicely done, let alone one that does need a little bit of updating. When's it going to stop? So I'm walking along the River Soar now. This is like, Leicester was built on this because great access in and out through the Industrial Revolution. Canal bolts on at one end down here, and then also up the other end towards the top end of Leicester, so you can get boats in and out really easily for goods and things like that. And then going back even further than that into sort of real medieval times, I guess, and old Victoria, before the Victorian era, way before that, this would have been a real asset to the city. And really, it runs straight through the middle of Leicester, so everything is built up around it. And how things have changed. Massive student accommodation, again, driving more people into a relatively small area of the city. And like I say, all that does is create housing cost problems and challenges, drives people out of those areas into the more outer suburbs of the city. So more people want to live there. House prices go up there as well. Rents go up everywhere. And then they get stuck at that price. They might come back down a little bit, but they're not going to drop through the floor like some people may have expected them to over the last few years. So challenges out there at the moment, definitely. That said, this is my favourite place to run and walk in the city. Next to the water, very relaxing before I move back onto the main road and, as Junior said, back to the grind. Now, I promised you a walk through some of the social housing that got developed around this area before I bumped into Junior and Fredo. So that's what we'll do now. These roads are all named after like spices and herbs. More herbs, I think, actually. So we've got like tarragon, sage. I think there's coriander around here as well somewhere. In fact, this is Coriander Road now. So we'll go down here, show you what they built here. And I think this is what needs to happen in other areas of the city. This is quite a nice estate. It's well looked after, considering it is quite close to the city centre. I do see some estates like this that get left a little bit and probably not looked after quite as well. But this one, it's not bad at all. They seem to get just the right balance around here of space, parking spaces, the right amount of housing put into the right space and location that they've got available. Just coming up to Mint Road, mixture of housing, traditional housing, and then apartments and flats as well. As you can see, it disappears right down here also. And then it brings you out back to Bede Park at the top end. So quite a nice spot as well. It's all resident parking only, so they've all got permits. There's yellow lines everywhere. I could live around here, and it's in a fantastic spot. Close to the city centre, close to the hospital, close to De Montfort University, Narber Road just through over that bridge we went in earlier on. This is not bad at all around here. So what would these be? Probably 2 and 3 bedroom houses. Not all that old, still pretty well looked after. Definitely somewhere I could see myself living. They don't come up for sale very often. In fact, I don't know if I've ever seen one for sale because, like I say, I think in the main they are housing association properties. So whether they ever get sold private residential, I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't think they do, is my gut feeling. There we go. And as I walk through this little gap here, I'll come back out in towards Bede Park, and this is the Great Central Way. You go down this path just here, and that takes you right down towards Foss Park. I'm now going to head back up towards my car, but we'll go up through some streets that I've not been up so far, and then we'll get finished off and I'll give you my sort of final thoughts, I guess, really. So this here is Roman Street, similar to Britain Street. They're all named after sort of those historical races. So you've got Saxon, Norman, Briton, Gaul. Look at some of the stuff that you're dealing with around here. Some people just don't look after their houses very well. I just don't get it. But then if you're renting it and you're paying too much for it and it's not well looked after, what do you expect? Interesting here, got a property that went to auction. One of my favourite ways to sell a property is selling at auction on Roman Street. Roman Street must have known it's popped me back out right opposite Istanbul restaurant. So I'm going to head up Shaftesbury Road now, which is where I first walked down. That takes me back towards the car. So I'm going to tell you my thoughts, but I'd like to hear your thoughts as well on what you think of what you've seen in this video, what you think of what Junior and Fredo said. Do you need to be getting out of the UK? Do you need to be staying in the UK and grinding? What about the housing population around here, the housing on offer, the prices, the costs, the derelict buildings? It's just, yeah, interesting place, isn't it? It's certainly a lot different to 15 years ago when it was Young Professional, and I can't even begin to imagine what it was like 30, 40, 50 years ago, because there's no getting away from the fact that this would have been a very, very white British working class area, and it is not at all that now, like not one bit. It has massively changed. There's been a huge amount of immigration into the area from all four corners of the globe as well, and economically that has without a doubt helped Leicester and this particular area a lot. Has it socially helped the area though? That's the question that I think we need to be asking, because it's all well and good having economic benefit, but then is a boom in rental prices and a boom in housing prices beneficial to your local man on the street who just wants a nice place to live, to bring his family up and go on holiday once or twice a year? I'm not so sure. Now look, people often say to me, yeah John, but you're an estate agent, it's your fault that these house prices are booming. I can assure you it's not. It's simple supply and demand. I do not want house prices to be how they are. I think it's unsustainable. I think it prices people out of the market, and I think it gives false expectation for people selling their property that we should be selling houses for 200, 220, 250,000 pounds each, when 15 to 20 years ago they were less than 100 grand. I don't think it's right, I don't think it's fair, but ultimately I need to earn a living and I only work in the market, I don't control it. I've just bumped into this really nice Hungarian guy, lost his job last year, just doing some work out there. Really handy, like really good work on this house. Just think there's some really good people out there, isn't there? I'm nearly by where I started. It's been a really good walk. I've enjoyed it. I've seen a lot of people, seen a lot of things that I don't see all the time just driving around. Definitely more to come. I need to go and look in more detail around here. But Leicester's huge, and I need to go out there and really see what's happening on the ground to help me in my own job as an estate agent understand what factors people are up against, because I think it's important to give the right advice to the right people at the right time, and things are changing very quickly and not always for the better for people. We'll catch up soon.